All right, what is up, everybody? It is your boy Nico here. I am your favorite multifamily operator. And today I'm going to break down exactly what it looks like to start building relationships with LPs, limited partners, the people that might one day invest alongside you in your multifamily deals. So I'm not doing this episode to sound like I'm some sort of capital raising expert or SEC guru, because I'm not. And in fact, I want to make this very clear right from the start. I am not a capital raising pro. I'm not teaching you how to raise capital. In fact, that term shouldn't even be thrown around too much. But I'm showing you what the process looks like for me, what it takes to build trust with people, and how I've been doing this the hard way and the right way for years. Because there's no secret formula, there's no magic wand. This is just actual work. It's relationship building, it's trust building, it's follow up. Honestly, it's a ton of rejection. But if you want to be a syndicator, if you want to be a multifamily operator, somebody that puts deals together, and you want to start doing your own deals, this is what the real side of that looks like. Okay, so let's start right from the top. How do people end up in my ecosystem? Well, for me, it happens naturally through everything that I do: the podcast, social media, meetups, networking, word of mouth, even conversations with friends, family, old colleagues who ask what I'm up to, what I'm doing, what I'm working on. When people hear what I'm doing, buying apartment buildings, managing properties, managing teams, building something long term, some of them get curious. Others don't give a crap, and that's just how it is. So the curiosity, though, that's the seed. I don't push anybody. I just share what I'm working on. If they're interested, great. We will start a conversation. Hopefully, at some point, they can start getting more and more information, and we will build up more in-depth conversations. But it starts with just a little bit of curiosity. Over time, they start seeing what I'm doing, how I operate, and whether or not they'd ever want to take part in it. And they don't have to. Okay. So you never want to force this upon anybody. That's my version of building an investor base. It's really just about creating a circle of people who are watching what you do. They're tracking you and your journey, and they're understanding what you're about, how you operate, what you're working on, that you're serious about this, that you're consistent, that you're in this game for the long haul. And it's okay if you're learning as you go. It's totally fine. There's no overnight thing here. You build it one person at a time. But the key is you have to start showing people what you're interested in. So you have to start talking about what you're doing. And the greatest platform we have right now at our fingertips, social media. It might seem weird at first if you start out of the gate posting about real estate. What happens when people first start posting about their new real estate journey is, at first, you're going to get a lot of likes. People are going to like it and like it and like it and be like, oh, that's cool. And then you do it again and you post again, and those likes tend to fade away. And that's okay, because then people are like suspicious, like, what's happening? They might know you as this W-2 person doing your regular job and doing your regular family things. Now, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you threw in the fact that you're now a multifamily investor or you're now looking at deals. It's going to throw people off, and that's okay. But usually what happens is the first few posts and the first few outreaches and the first few things that you present to people, people are going to like it just because they like you, right? But then once they don't understand what you're doing, those likes tend to fade away, and that's okay. So the most important part of this, and probably the hardest, is building that trust. People eventually will invest with people they know, like, and trust. But here's the truth, that takes years. Okay. So I've been doing this for a long time now, 6 years. And how I started was I just made an announcement post first. I just announced to everybody, hey, look, this is what I'm doing. I'm working on a real estate thing. You might not understand it yet, but it's really cool and I'm really into it. Hopefully, you can at least follow my journey. That's the thing. You want to strike the curiosity in people. You want to have them follow your journey. You're not going to be the pro or expert at it yet, and who cares? From there, I started a meetup group, and I started having a person present at every one of my meetups. It was like once a month and then twice a month, where I would get somebody who was professional in the space to present something to my audience, and I would gather people and have them join. My first meetup was actually an in-person meetup, and I ran it myself, and I had 3 people come, and it was pretty disastrous, but it was a stepping stone, right? From there, I went online, and I had to go online because it happened to be coinciding with COVID. So I went online, and that was actually much better for me. I was able to bring in a professional to present, and that person talked a lot about how to get involved in multifamily, and it was great, and people enjoyed it. So I started building up a little following. I took the people that attended those meetups And I collected their emails and I put them into my MailChimp account at that point, and that allowed me to then reach out to them monthly with a monthly newsletter. So to recap, I started with an initial post of my friends, family, my network that I already have that everybody has on social media. This is what I'm getting involved with. I'm starting to be a multifamily investor. Follow me along. Follow along my journey. You might like it. Then what I did was I started a meetup group. From that meetup group, I started building an email list of people that might be interested in investing in multifamily real estate. And then I started a campaign monthly where I would send out some information about multifamily investing and more about my journey. Alongside that, the entire time, I was also posting updates and things about my journey. I was looking at the Tampa market at that time, and I started posting just some things about what was going on in the Tampa market. And I got pretty good responses from it. Although, yes, like I said before, people are going to be very confused about what you're going to be doing. And it's okay. That's just how it goes. Eventually, you will weed out the people that don't care about the real estate, which is fine, which is what you want to do. And then people that will be your hardcore or diehard fans or your tribe will continue to follow you and engage with you. It's important that if you're posting about things in multifamily or in your real estate investing journey, it's important to be engaging with the people that you post about. If they like or comment, please engage with them because that's going to help cultivate this tribe even farther. And you know what? There are months when I feel like nothing's moving, nothing's changing, and I will email like 500 people at a time and nobody responds or let alone invest. And that's okay. That's just how it goes. This business isn't about overnight wins. It's about really showing up, being consistent, whether or not you have a deal or whether or not you don't have a deal. It's okay. It's about continuing to share your journey and what you're working on, because eventually over time, you're going to build that know, like, and trust, right? And when things fall apart or when things get difficult or challenging, you have to share that as well. Transparency is a very important thing here. So once people are in my network, once people are in my realm, in my world, whether they invest with me or don't invest with me, I treat the communication very seriously. That means I stay in touch still through my newsletter, monthly updates, through updates about what I'm working on, and through the podcast. I talk about real stuff, what's working, what's not working, what I'm learning. I can't stress this enough. Today we have social media, which is huge. We are allowed to post things on social media. It is a free avenue for us to get more attention, as Gary Vee says, but to also advertise. This is free advertising. And yeah, you could do paid advertising too, but there's no need to do that at this point. At this point, you're cultivating a little tribe of people that are going to be following your journey, that are interested and curious about what you're doing, that eventually may invest alongside of you or partner with you. So I eventually built my list up to about 500 people. I have some more than that, but it's kind of consistent around 500 because there are people that are engaged and that are not engaged. And those ones that are not engaged with my email list, they basically get filtered out. So when I do have a deal coming up, and if you ever get a deal coming up as well, you can send out a simple email saying, hey, look, I have a deal. If you're interested, reach out to me. You're probably not going to get any responses, and that's okay. But here's what you would do. Hey, here's something that I'm working on. Here's what I like about this deal. Here's what I'm planning to do. If you have any interest, respond to this email. You might have to send 3 to 5 emails just to get a few people to respond. And that's okay. That's normal. Don't get freaked out by it. Now, it's not about pushy salesman stuff. This is about just open communication, sharing what you're working on, and hopefully you'll get some people that are interested. Now, and why do I do this on email rather than social media? Because typically the deals that I put together are 506B deals, meaning you cannot advertise or solicit for those deals. So you can't put it on social media. This is why it's critical that you build up your email list, because the email list is people that opted into what you're doing. So they are willing and voluntarily opting in to get and receive emails from you. The SEC says you have to have a substantive relationship with the people that you're reaching out to if you're going to be doing a 506B syndication, which is crucial. So you cannot just solicit and post, I have a deal on social media, unless you're doing a 506C, which if you're listening to this podcast, you are most likely not going to go right to a 506C. And I don't want you to, I don't recommend that. Because with a 506C, you can only get capital from accredited investors. That is going to leave out a lot of your network. Trust me, I recommend that you go with a 506B. So let's take it one step at a time. Let's say you got a deal under contract. You've been cultivating this email list and creating some sort of an email list for maybe a few months. And now you got a deal under contract. So you reach out, you send out your email blast. Nobody responds because nobody cares. That's okay. That's pretty normal. What you're then going to do is go person by person in your email list, person by person in your phone for all the contacts that you have in your phone. You start with phone calls. You call those people right away that you feel are your closest to and that you can have a conversation with about the deals. Then you send text messages. Alongside of this, you have to have some sort of tracker. So what I do is I keep an investor tracker and I have it handy and I have it up on my desktop for all the deals that I do. And I go through person by person by person. It might take you days to get through all the people. It might take you 20 minutes, depending on how many people you have. And once you have reached out and shared the deal with those close people, then you can go back again and send another email blast out. Then you do the same thing over and over and you cycle through those close people, then spread the net wider and you cast a wider and wider net. The first time people hear from you asking about a deal, they're going to say no. It's just the way people are wired. This is the way things are. But that doesn't mean you should get discouraged or stop. And in fact, you should reach out at least 3 to 5 times to somebody to make sure that they really don't want to be invested in the deal. Find out the reasons why they don't want to invest. Maybe it's timing for them. Maybe they don't have enough education on what it is. Maybe they just don't trust you. And that will indicate what you need to do next. If it's timing, offer them a deal down the road and provide some solution. Figure out the objection and work around that. Now, here's a real scenario that might happen. Let's say you have 50 people in your email list. You got a deal under contract. You blast out your email list. Nobody responds. You then go through your phone, you call and text everybody you know. You might get 2 or 3 people willing to jump on a webinar. So you then go back to your email list, you blast it again. You might get one more person to jump on the webinar. You go back to the phone, email, texts, everybody you know. You might get another person. So maybe you get up to 5 people to join your webinar. You then ask all of those 5 people that are going to be joining your webinar who else they would recommend to join the webinar. Maybe they could bring 1 or 2 people. Now, you now have a webinar going and you have about 7 people there. That's totally fine. You now have a recording of the webinar. You blast that out to your email list again. You get maybe 1 response, maybe 0 responses. That's okay. You blast that email out again. If nothing's working and a couple of weeks have gone by and you have nobody to invest passively, you might want to create a sense of urgency. A lot of investors do this. They say, hey, only 2 spots left. That might create a sense of urgency. If you don't get anything from that, the next step might be to restructure your deal as a JV partnership, meaning get people invested who might want to be a GP like you or own the deal more like a JV partner. And that's okay too. You can restructure the deal. So find out why people are not investing in your deal and solve that problem. So if nobody's investing in your deal and due diligence is done and you're getting 0 commitment, and nobody wants the deal restructured as a JV and nobody wants to be a GP, then you might have to look for a capital raiser. And that's okay too. If you're going the capital raiser route, make sure you do it properly with the SEC compliance. Now, if you're in a bind here and the deal's just not working out, let's say you were supposed to raise $500,000 for a traditional loan, perhaps you might have to go with hard money or a bank loan just to get it done. And in those scenarios, maybe now the raise is only $200,000. That might be a little bit more realistic for you. That might give you more options. Perhaps you can pull money from a HELOC. Perhaps you can go to your own retirement account and maybe your best friend is involved and now you can figure out the deal together and that's acceptable as well. Or the deal falls through. That happens. That's okay. The deal falls through. You weren't able to raise the capital. You lost money. What you're going to do next is highlight the entire process. This is a huge moment for you to take, to send out that email blast. Do a case study on what happened. Share that with your network. Share it on social media after the fact. Share what you're going through and how difficult it is and the opportunity that you missed and the opportunity that your investors missed because they didn't jump in the deal. Don't do it in a rude way, obviously, but I recommend doing it in a way that creates a sense of urgency of like, wow, well, maybe I could have gotten into this deal. Maybe I should have jumped on that a little bit faster because the next time you share a deal with those same investors, they would be more apt to invest alongside of you. This is okay, guys. It might take a couple of years. If this is something that you really want to do, you're going to have to buckle down, get to work. So another key thing for people out there and something that anyone can do is learning how to leverage your own experience, even if it's small. So, for example, I am doing this particular podcast episode for a friend of mine, Will Grabowski at JLL. He is a broker. He has a ton of experience, but he also wants to learn how to do the syndication piece. So, what he can highlight is his brokerage experience. On the flip side, people that are also listening, like my buddy Fran, who's trying to get into this space too. He's got a ton of experience too in the business realm, but also in the fact that he is now buying duplexes. So that is his experience. Don't minimize your experience. Anything that you have done in the business world or real estate world is excellent experience. Anything that you have done in the networking realm, in the communications realm, is experience. There are so many ways to utilize what you already have as experience in this game. Maybe you've managed a property. Maybe you closed on a single family. Maybe you only have your own personal residence. That's okay. That's real estate. Maybe you helped somebody underwrite a deal or partnered with somebody in the past as a limited partner. All of this is credibility. Take those experiences and talk about them. That's what I do. I share lessons like this on the podcast. Although you don't have to have a podcast to do this, you could share those lessons on social media. You can share them in your email blasts. Don't brag about it. Try to take it as a teaching moment to document and show that you are active in this business. That's what helps people understand. Oh, Nico's not just talking about multifamily, he's actually doing it. And that's the same playbook that I tell you guys to follow as well. Whatever you have done, no matter how small, I use it to educate people. That's what positions you as trustworthy because people can see your growth. But I also need to be honest here. This is real work and it is hard. It takes years to build up a solid base of people who trust you enough to invest. And in all honesty, the best way to get involved first is as a limited partner. You should be investing if you have $25,000, $50,000 handy, disposable, right? We don't want to say that this is your last $25,000 or $50,000. If you have that amount of money, this will give you a behind the scenes look at how things operate so that you can eventually do it yourself. The next best thing to do if you're not going to be an LP is be a GP for somebody else, meaning you come in and offer your little network of people, whether you can raise 50, 150, $200,000 from your little network for their deals, and you be the investor relations person, you be an asset manager, you be the underwriter, you do whatever you can for that team so that now you have the experience to do your own deal. Those are the two main ways to get started. But if you are crazy like me and want to jump into your own deal right away, then you got to start building that credibility. You have to first announce what you are doing to everybody that you know, whether that be through emails, phone calls, texts, social media. Then you start building up an investor database of people that might be interested for your email list, text blasts, phone calls for when you do have a deal. You have to highlight your journey throughout the process. You cannot just be in and out with once every couple of months sharing something. You have to do it consistently. And eventually you might have a good list of people, but you might also send out an email blast or a text blast and hear crickets. You're going to get ghosted. You're going to have deals that fall apart. You're going to question whether it is worth it at times. And I've been there and I still feel that way sometimes. But every time that you show up, every podcast episode, every investor call, every update that you're doing, you're laying another brick on the foundation of your own business and your own journey. And eventually it compounds. One deal leads to a little more credibility, and that credibility leads to more relationships. And over time, you start building that momentum. So here's the truth, my peeps. It's not sexy, it's not instant, but it works if you stick with it. So if you're listening and you're thinking about putting your own deals together, this is what it looks like. There is no secret to it. There is no shortcut either. It is years of building trust, showing up, and learning as you go. The best advice that I can give you is to start right now. Put this podcast away, put the phone down, get started right now. Start building those relationships today. Make the announcement to everybody in your network what you're doing, and then start showing up every single day. And understand that this is not going to happen tomorrow. It is a long game, but it is worth playing if you're serious about building something real. Hey, everybody, what's up? A lot of you ask me how you can get involved in multifamily real estate. Okay, I am now live on my Stand store. I am going to teach you how to buy buildings, build empires. If you are serious about learning how to be a multifamily apartment investor, go to my Stand store now, stand.store/buy buildings. You can get my deal analyzer. You can get an equity split tool. You can get a strategy call. You can pre-order my entire course. Guys, I am live now. Get there. Let's buy buildings. Let's build empires.